wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Lauren LaRosa filling in for Jess. So let's get in some front page news. All right, Major League Baseball. Last night, the Dodgers beat the Mets 8-0. They lead the series 2-1. The Liberty beat the Lynx. They came back. They're leading that series 80-77. They were down by like 14 at one point, but they came back. Tonight, the Yankees play at 5 and the Mets play at 8:08. And Thursday night football, the Broncos take on the Saints. What up, Morgan?
By the way, that Liberty game was fantastic.
Yes,
great
that's
game.
what I was going to say. What up?
Man.
Great game. They came
Sabrina
back.
Ionescu. Sheesh.
Crazy. Clutch.
Sheesh.
Big clutch.
All right. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get into it. Speaking of clutch, everybody wants to talk about the Fox interview with Kamala Harris. But before I get into that, let's talk about what's going on with former President Donald Trump. He is being confronted over claims he made that Haitian migrants in Ohio were eating cats and dogs. He did that at a Univision town hall that happened yesterday. One member asked if Trump really believed the statement, to which Trump replied that he was saying things he heard in the news. Let's hear more from former President Trump.
This was just reported. I was just saying what was reported. That's been reported, and eating other things too that they're not supposed to be. But I was there. I'm going to be there, and we're going to take a look. And I'll give you a full report when I do. But that's been in the newspapers and reported pretty broadly.
If you're an American, you should ask yourself how any of that impacts your life. Like, you shouldn't care about any of that. Like, it's 19 days left until
no
an
policy
election.
talk, and they're talking
That's
about
what
that?
I'm saying.
Some rumors? Sounds crazy.
I want to worry about, I care about how I'm going to keep, money in my pocket and a roof over my head, and you talking about people allegedly eating dogs and cats in Ohio.
And it's insulting that he's like, I'm going to take my time to go look and I'll let y'all know. Like, you don't got nothing else to do?
Nothing else?
Hello, thank you. Okay, so Springfield, Ohio city spokesperson, the mayor, and of course other officials, the police. Many people have come out claiming, of course, that the Haitian migrants have said that those comments, are false. Now, meanwhile, an issue that is impacting a lot of people want to know. Former President Trump, he participated in a Fox News town hall in Atlanta where there was an all-female audience, and he laid out his top priorities, which included his support for in vitro fertilization, or AKA IVF treatments. Let's hear more from Trump on that.
The Democrats tried to attack us on it, and we're out there on IVF even more than them. So we're totally in favor of it.
He went on to call himself the father of IVF. Okay. He spoke about what he calls the left's agenda. He also spoke about what he calls the left's agenda for pushing transgender inclusion in women's sports.
Well, hold on, Morgan. I don't think you should speed past that. You know what I'm saying?
The father of IVF?
Yeah, if you're going to say you're the father of IVF, y'all the party of IVF, how? When you put 3 judges on the Supreme Court that overturned Roe v. Wade. Like that jeopardizes the fertility treatment. So what are we talking about?
Well, he is saying he is in support of it. I'm not sure how that transitions when you do, like you said, you did overturn Roe, considering that would have protected all of that.
I thought he wasn't in support of it a couple of years ago. And I thought it was a change now, because I thought he wasn't in support of IVF, and I thought that was the big thing, right?
I don't know.
He hasn't been historically in support of it, but yes, he has recently changed his tone about a lot of things.
Yeah, I just know his abortion bans have already jeopardized access to IVF in states across the country, and his it's just strange. We know that's what he does, though. He lies, so it is what it is.
He also spoke during that. He also spoke about female sports, saying female athletes need to be protected from athletes who have transitioned to men. So let's hear from Trump on trans sports.
President bans it. You just don't let it happen. We absolutely stop it. You can't have it. It's a man playing in the game.
So, Trump also spoke about the border, the economy, abortion, of course, and other issues. National polls currently show that it is a very tight race between Trump and VP Harris. Let's talk about Georgia. Georgia voters, they came out in droves and made history yesterday. The Secretary of State's office reports around 300,000 people showed up to cast a ballot during the beginning of early voting. It was considered the largest turnout on the first day of early voting in Georgia history. Among those was former President Jimmy Carter, who achieved his goal. He said his goal is living long enough to cast his ballot for the 2024 election, and he did, in fact, vote for Kamala Harris. The Carter Center confirmed the news on Wednesday. His grandson previously said he would vote for Harris and doesn't believe former President Trump should be in the White House again. Now, Carter turned 100 years old on October 1st, making him the oldest former president in U.S. history. And again, early voting began in his home state of Georgia on Tuesday. There are also 13 other states that are currently have early voting underway. So if you want to, get out and vote early.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is front page news. Thank you, Morgan.
Wake that ass up.
In the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Lauren LaRosa filling in for Jess. And let's get in some front page news. Start off with some sports first. WNBA, the Liberty came back. They were down 15-16 at one point. They beat the Lynx 80-77. They lead the series 2-1. One more game, and they got that chip. Now, the Dodgers beat the Mets last night 8-0. They lead the series 2-1. The Mets play tonight and the Yankees play tonight. All right? Yankees play at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. The Mets play at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And in Thursday Night Football, the Broncos take on the Saints at 8:15. A lot of sports today in the next couple of days. Morning, Morgan.
Good morning. Good morning. So speaking of which, there's a lot to be said about Vice President Kamala Harris's very first interview with Fox News and anchor Bret Baier. There were multiple contentious moments in the interview as the two spoke over each other. The two sparred on various topics like immigration, former President Trump, and how she differs from President Biden. Now, Baier referred to past answers where Harris gave that she indicated nothing came to mind when asked if she would do things differently than Biden. But Harris also said she represents a new generation of leadership. Let's hear more from VP Harris on Fox.
My presidency will not be a continuation of Joe Biden's presidency. And like every new president that comes in to office, I will bring my life experiences, my professional experiences, and fresh and new ideas. People are exhausted with someone who professes to be a leader who spends full time demeaning and engaging in personal grievances and it being about him instead of the American people. People are tired of that.
So Harris also defended the Biden administration's policy on immigration, saying it was a priority to fix problems on the border, including getting more judges and processing asylum cases quicker. Baier listed victims of crimes committed by illegal immigrants and asked if Harris owes those families an apology. She did say she was sorry and felt awful for the losses the families of the victims are feeling, but also blamed Republicans for opposing legislation that was designated to fix immigration. Now, she added that she does not believe in decriminalizing border crossings. Now, some Fox News anchors actually praised Harris following that interview for her performance, saying they found her a bit evasive, but she did come across as forceful at times, and they're calling it one of her better interviews. What do you say to that, Charlamagne, being that you just spoke to her days ago?
I thought that the conversation with Bret Baier was great. I've always thought she should go on Fox News and, answer those tough questions, and it didn't disappoint. And, the brother called up here last hour and said the VP didn't answer any questions. That's just a bold-faced lie, especially when he said she didn't answer the question about how her presidency would be completely different than Biden's, because she said verbatim, my presidency will not be a continuation of Joe Biden's presidency. And like every new president that comes into office, I'll bring my life experiences, my professional experiences, and fresh and new ideas. And it's just interesting how much of a double standard exists, right? Because they'll say she spends her time talking about Donald Trump. What does Donald Trump spend his time talking about? Her.
Yeah.
And what do we like? That's what politics is. Like, it's just interesting to me how the double standard exists, and you can look at the person you support and think everything they say is okay, but then look at the person you don't support and think that everything they're doing is wrong when both of them are doing the same thing.
Yeah, that's everybody does it. I've seen people also criticizing the fact that she was vice president, basically saying it sounded like she doesn't want to go down any of the roads that Joe Biden has gone down or is going down. That her presidential campaign wants to be totally different from his after her, being his vice president. And
but what's wrong with that, though?
It seems like she doesn't support anything that he did.
The thing,
and she's never said that.
Your role as vice president is totally different than your role as president, and she absolutely champions the good things that they've done in the Biden administration. But she also has her own path that she wants to set. Like she said, her life experiences, her professional experiences, and fresh and new ideas. She represents a new generation of leadership. I don't see the problem.
Yeah, so before the Fox News interview, Vice President Harris, she spoke at a campaign event in Pennsylvania where more than 100 Republicans joined her to support her candidacy for president. She said even Trump's former allies are warning against electing him. Let's hear from VP Harris and PA.
Donald Trump is telling us how he intends to use power if he is elected again. He has stated that one of the biggest threats America faces is, quote, the enemy from within. Consider what his closest advisors have said. His national security advisor, 2 defense secretaries, his former chief of staff, his own vice president, all have warned America Donald Trump is unfit to serve.
I'm not gonna front. I'm not getting enough from the Republicans that's supporting her. Like I told her when we spoke this week. When are the Liz Cheneys of the when the Liz Cheneys of the world gonna start waving their fingers at the 52% of white women who voted for Trump in 2016 or the 55% of white women that voted for Trump in 2020? When those white male Republicans gonna start waving their fingers at the white men who overwhelmingly voted for Donald Trump, over 50% in 2016 and 2020? The same way Obama was out there waving his finger at black men for no reason, by the way. Because black men always show up to vote for Democrats, like second largest voting bloc of Democrats, so that was completely pointless. But when are they going to start waving their fingers at the white folks? When are those white Republicans going to start waving their fingers at the white folks and telling them that they need to do better?
I thought that when she first announced her run, all of the white women for Kamala, there wasn't real movement.
There ain't enough finger wagging, if you ask me. Okay.
Do white women wave their fingers though?
I swear to God, I was thinking that. I ain't never seen a clap or finger
Jesus
wave.
Christ. I don't know. That's a good question.
Do?
I'm just okay. Well, speaking of championing women, let's switch gears. The Miami-Dade County Commission held a special presentation yesterday to honor Celia Cruz as her face is now on a quarter. Yes, get into the money. Kimbara. So her former manager, Omar Perdillo, says Miami has always been close to her heart. Let's hear more from him in regards to that honor.
Today was about bringing people together, and it's very fit that the U.S. Mint celebrated Celia with a coin on her face. And most important than that, the word azúcar, Spanish word for the first time in a U.S. currency.
Yes, azúcar actually translates to sugar in English. Cruz was considered a pioneer of music and women of all colors and generations. The Grammy Award-winning singer was also known as the Queen of Salsa and the first Afro-Latina to be on a quarter. Yes.
What's it called? Sucre?
Azúcar.
Azúcar. I'm telling my wife later, give me some azúcar.
Yes, dame
azúcar. Come here, give me some azúcar.
Dame. And if we got time for one more, just so I could get this one off, a judge in the murder trial of Michael Jordan's father, he is asking for the killer's release. In 1996, Judge Gregory Weeks concluded Daniel Green shot James Jordan in his car on the side of a North Carolina highway during a botched robbery. Now Weeks says a forensic blood analysis failed to disclose an important finding. The blood-like substance found in the car may not have belonged to Green. So Weeks told a parole commission that the situation has haunted him for nearly close to 30 years. Now you want to say something about it. And the decision could be reached, and a new decision could be reached within a month regarding that. So I'll keep an eye on that, what's going on with Daryl Green, who was accused of shooting James Jordan, Michael Jordan's father, back in 1996 and killing him. So that's your front page news. That's a lot, right? I'm Morgan Wood. Follow me on social at Morgan Media. And for more news coverage, follow at Black Information Network. Download the free iHeartRadio app and visit us at BINnews.com.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.